morning to you and welcome to Bong County.
Good morning. I'm very happy to be in the land of my mother's people, my late mother's people. My late mother, Elizabeth Tiawan Gongloe, was from Kwaipa, right beyond Winter, Pantakwai. I'm happy to be here. The last time I was in studio here, I was president of the Bar Association.
Okay.
Now I'm in studio. We don't have political leader in LPP. LPP has chairman, standard bearer. I'm a political aspirant. I intend to be standard bearer. I strongly believe that today I'll be elected standard bearer of the Liberian People's Party. Good. So I'm happy to be here.
And so you are in Bong County. Tell us, why are you in the county?
I'm in the county because my party venue is convention here for the election of its standard bearer. Today there's only one item agenda to elect the standard bearer. So, as far as I'm concerned, I'm the only candidate. I heard of others who wanted to run, but the deadline has passed and my application is in. So today I'll be elected standard bearer of the Liberian People's Party. Now, I will not be called a presidential hopeful or aspiring anymore. I'll be called a candidate after today, to be clear. And I know that a lot of Liberians...
You show up the election today?
I'm very sure. A lot of Liberians have been hesitant to support me because an aspirant is someone to be. They were not sure that I will be elected candidate, so they'll be reluctant, but I know that after today, I will get enormous support, even from Bong County here, the land of my people, my uncles and aunts. I know the tradition of the Bong County people is that they love their nephews and nieces more, and that's why they gave so much vote to CDC in the last election, because a niece of Bong County was carried on a ticket. And now a nephew is going to be on a ticket not as a vice presidential candidate, but as a presidential candidate. So I'm very much sure of the support of my uncles and aunts, because I'm the biggest nephew of the Bong County people.
Okay, so you have members of the people, the Liberian People's Party in Bong County today. As you go to there's a convention for just the day-long convention will be starting today. What's the message to members of the party?
Well, I'm calling upon members of the party, consistent with the principles of our party, to put the interest of Liberia first and personal interest second, and therefore to have a peaceful convention. We should have intelligent exchange of views based on mutual respect, because our party promotes the culture of peace based on rule of law. And I'm calling upon all partisans from the 15 counties who are here to show that to the Bong County people, because Bong County is a country of peace as well, and that truly the Liberian People's Party is a party of peace, it's a party of rule of law, it's a party that puts the people's interest above all other personal interests.
And so the last time we spoke was a few months ago. We talked about you were giving reasons to the citizens of Bong County why you contesting for the Liberian presidency. Now you are in studio this morning. Citizens from across the entire county, the other counties adjacent, are also following this interview. Let us know more about Councillor Tiawan Gongloe, and also why are you contesting for the Liberian presidency?
In order for you to do anything effectively, first you have to have knowledge and experience. In the executive branch of government, I'm one person who have been advocating for good governance, for a country that will be governed by rule of law, a country that will work for all citizens of Liberia equally. I did so when I was a student activist at the University of Liberia in the 70s. And all through my life as a lawyer, I've been advocating for good governance. I've had my chance to be in government. I spoke against corruption a lot. I spoke against abuse of office a lot, recklessness in public offices and not respecting the dignity of public offices. And so I've had my chance. I've had experience to serve in different offices in the executive. First, as executive assistant to the president of Liberia from November 1990 to March 1994. I served as executive assistant to interim president Imo Sawyer the late. And I, in that office, I was sitting with presidents, taking notes, writing speeches for the president, attending meetings with the president, going to all the peace conferences, the Yamoussoukro, the Lomé, the Banjul, all of those conferences. I acquired a lot of knowledge from working with the president. So I can say that even the president in power, everybody who's contending for the office of the president, I'm the only one who have actually had an experience working in the office of the president. So I can say I only went through some apprenticeship just by working with a very sound president who was respected at the time. He was the only president in the whole Africa that was a professor. When we used to go to OAU meeting, it was a Professor Sawyer, and he had so much respect. And I enjoyed the honor of writing speeches for him.
Okay.
Yeah, and it really improved my confidence level. Then I served as Solicitor General for nearly 4 years. I served as Minister of Labor for a year and a half. So I've served a total of 9 years in my various positions in government. So I've been a member of the cabinet. In the executive branch, the highest position in the executive branch is the position of the presidency. So I've been a technician, I've held deputy minister position, which is Solicitor General. I've been a full member of the cabinet, and the only position in the executive that I have not held is the position of the president. So my education, I'm a lawyer, I'm an economist. These two are very important professions when it comes to leadership, because knowing about the economy and coming up with good economic policies for the benefit of the country is quite important for national leadership. Being a lawyer and knowing the law and how to govern by rule of law is quite important for leadership. Now I have two of these very important professions combined in one body, me. Not only am I an economist and a lawyer, I have taught economics at University of Liberia. I taught I can call my sister Joa Howard, okay, Taylor, because both of us are, she's a niece, I'm a nephew of Bong. So because our mothers come from here, our father come from Lofa, my father come from Nimba, both of us are niece and nephew of Bong County. I taught her, I taught current Justice Kaba, the Supreme Court. I taught George Akonto of Bong County. And if you hear me in your honor, I'm not disrespecting you, I'm just talking history. I taught Justice Kabina Janya. I taught so many people in Liberia. Former Minister of Defense, Samuel, current Senator of Lofa County, Joseph Jala. I taught so many people economics. Now I teach law. And it's important, it's interesting to know that for the past more than 5 years I've been teaching the law school. I have this interesting experience of my student telling me, Prof, you taught my father economics in undergraduate. And I say, you taught my mom, you taught my pa. And then I say, oh, but then your family owes me a lot. So yeah, sometimes people say, oh, done for Liberia. I have taught a lot of people who are leading this country today. And I think I've been a good teacher, and many of them respect me for that. When I see Vice President Joa today, Jennifer, oh, Prof, I said, no, you can't bow your Vice President. But if I didn't have a good relationship as a teacher, she would not have respected me too. So that's what I've been doing. And then I'm a transformer in the office of the appointed Serena Galloway, who is George today as county attorney. First female county attorney.
Yeah, for Bong County, yes.
First law school graduate county attorney of Bong County. At that time, all of the people who were county attorney of Bong County before were not law school graduates. Some of them were apprentices, some were not even high school graduates. The same thing happened in all other counties, my county, Nimba, everywhere, except Monserrato County. The 14 counties had no lawyer. I said, no, it can't be this way. Since 1847, from 1847 to 2006, I was the first leader at the Ministry of Justice that put lawyers in each of the counties of Liberia. That's from transformation. I also recommended the creation of an SGBV unit because I realized that there were too many sexual-based violent crimes, rape and sexual assault and everything else. So I recommended that we establish a special unit for that. And it was accepted by the government. I interviewed the first director, recommended her Associate Justice of the Supreme Court, Felicia Coleman, Councilor Felicia Coleman, because someone with vast knowledge needed to be the first to start this place and set a good tone for the future. I'm very proud I did that. So the SGBV prosecution unit is operating. The Ministry of Labor, I completed the decent work act that Kofi Wood has started. It was the first decent work law produced in the world. I submitted it to President Salih, and it was passed into law. So the law that is used today to control the workplace was a law brought by me. It transformed the old labor law. Under the old labor law, workers couldn't strike. Under the law that I sent to the legislature, the strike is a right. All workers have a right to strike because striking is the only way to put pressure on management. In that law, we have maternity leave for 3 months. If you're a woman working with any company and you get pregnant, you have the right to take 3 months vacation and you'll be paid. Then we have paternity leave. For the first time in the history of our country, a man working with any company can take 5 days leave to be with his wife when she delivers. We also have something I call passionate leave. You have a right to be with a sick family member for 5 days without being dismissed. And there are many good things in that law. I'm very proud that I sent that law to the legislature. I left government over 10 years ago, and that law is still there. You know, good change is not easily reversed. Just as at the Ministry of Justice, my good change or having county attorneys who are law school graduates never do. I recommended that they gave each of them a twin cabin pickup, a laptop, a generator, and prosecution fund. And government did that, and prosecution improved. Also at the Ministry of Labor, I realized that too many of our jobs are being done by non-Liberians. There were non-Liberians, two boys, Lebanese, and Indians, and Chinese, and all these people. So I appealed to them to employ Liberians. They wouldn't do it. I said the only way to do it is to increase the work permit fees so that it makes it prohibitive for a lot of non-Liberians to come and take our jobs. So the work permit fee had been $400 for more than 10 years, more than a decade. I increased it with the approval of the president. I convinced the president she allowed me to increase it. I increased it from $400 a year to $1,000 a year. So you have 10 non-Liberians in your company, you pay $10,000 this year. Next year you pay another $10,000. Once that happened, a lot of employers started laying off their non-Liberian employees and started employing Liberians. So I gave jobs to a lot of Liberians when I was Minister of Labor. Okay. But there were some employers who still wanted to maintain their foreign employees. I said, okay, you want to maintain it, you have to pay $1,000. So while I was Minister of Labor, I also made the Ministry of Labor and Economic Ministry because that year when the regulation number 17, I call it, went into force, Ministry of Labor raised about $6 million United States dollars that year. So the government brought a banking window to the Ministry of Labor. Since I left over 10 years ago, the banking window, there's still a bank at Ministry of Labor. So Ministry of Labor became an economic ministry based on my leadership, based on my leadership, my transformative leadership. And today, regulation number 17 is still there. So employers have tried to make Ministers of Labor after me to reduce the amount. And it's difficult because the Liberian Labor Congress supports that, and all the labor unions around the country support that. In fact, that year, it came out with a statement that the Liberian Senate honored the leadership of Clayton Watterson, President Pro Tem. So for the first time, the Senate said, the Liberian Senate congratulates the Minister of Labor for issuing regulation number 17. So it's not how long you stay in government, but what you do for your country. All the changes I made before are still there because they were good changes. Okay. I'm a transformative leader. These are examples. So speak truth to power. I am not known for stealing or for violating the rights of people, like abusing office.
Okay. So, Councilor Gongloe, every time we see you, we follow other newspapers, on social media, on the internet. You talked about, we see you the broom, in most of other countries since you came from the States. I want to know maybe because you are, contesting for the Liberian presidency. What's the message as you going across the entire country? What message are you carrying? What are your thoughts about Liberia?
As someone who has studied the government of Liberia, I've been concerned, I've been going to jail from the time I was in school. 1978, I was just 22 years old. I went to jail for speaking truth to power. One of the truths that I know is that corruption is the only thing that kept our country behind.
Okay.
Corruption, stealing in government. Let me be clear. Going to office, in government office, then the money that belongs to all of us, you steal it and put it in your pocket, you pay your farmhouse, you send your children abroad, you send your family to India, Ghana, and you live good life, you buy expensive car, our money that is meant for all of us. That has kept this country behind. And because of corruption, coup d'etat came. When the military came to power, they say one of the reasons we overthrew the Togo government because of rampant corruption. Then the military themselves became corrupt. Then because of corruption, war came. Corruption can show itself in different ways. One of the ways that it shows itself is in election. There can be corruption in election too. So all of that led us to fight war for 14 years, and we killed each other. The worst war ever in Africa, fratricidal conflict. Brothers were killing brothers. Neighbors were killing neighbors. Only because of corruption. Corruption is a big element of bad governance. And today, because of corruption, Liberians are getting poorer and poorer every day. Because they think corruption is based on selfishness, greed. You want everything for yourself. And I am saying all of us Liberians must join together. You see, to sweep corruption, one thing that a broom represents, the broom that is made from palm leaves, if you take one of the strands, it's easily broken.
Yes.
But together, it's hard to break it.
Yeah.
So I'm saying all of us, one person cannot fight corruption. All of us must go together, join together to sweep corruption from the government of Liberia. If we sweep corruption from the government of Liberia in all government offices, I am telling you, my brother and my uncles and aunts of Bong County, Liberia will develop so fast.
What's the feedback you're getting from the country since you started?
Everybody is so happy with me. In fact, let me hasten to say, at the end of October or early November, we will have a national broom carnival.
Okay.
Where every
Liberian, that will be held?
Every part of Liberia, I will call upon the Bong County people on that same day. Everybody will have broom and parade in the streets of Banga, Greenville, Harper, Sanikole, Ganta, everywhere. People will show, because we have to teach that corruption is not good, stealing is not good, so that those who are stealing can be afraid. Because you see, even the sanction now has made people afraid. We live in Monrovia, because of the sanction, the noise of siren has reduced.
Okay.
And so it will come up publicly, and next year is election, and they know that Liberian people are against corruption. The corrupt people who are corrupt will not even want to run again, because they say, Liberian people are against corruption. My name in the newspaper for corruption. Let me not waste my money. Then when we stop corruption now, we'll strengthen our health system, our educational system. We'll grow more food by engaging in mechanized farming. We'll build more hydro. We'll have solar power. We'll have windmills to produce more electricity. We'll be able to establish companies all over the country. The rule of law will be strong, and Liberia will become better and better, because our agenda is that Liberia can be made better. So we have all of the things we have, we'll put on a 10 count, and we'll say 10 count agenda for better Liberia, because Liberia can be better. You see, those of us who are living a little bit more, Liberia was not great, but some of the things that are happening today never used to happen. For example, there was never a time in our history under Tubman and even under Do, where it was difficult to leave Banga and go to Zozo. Today it's difficult because there were public work yards all over the country that had yellow machines that used to maintain the road. But you can only do that on corruption when there's not a high level of corruption. There was corruption before, but today corruption got more than triplets.
Is it the current government or in the past government?
It started from the past.
Okay.
It was bad before Ellen. It got worse before Ellen. Now today it has become a culture of governance. Everybody is corrupt. in every way. And the corruption now is leading and making it difficult to move from one place to another. You can't go to southeastern Liberia, where George, where I come from. There's no way you can get on the car now and go to refugee or I mean to go grant.
Yeah, the road condition.
You got a road condition. The worst one happened today. My people, Liberian people should know. Because of corruption, the money that the airport RI makes, that one Maggie and all the people, everybody, you know, because Maggie was in charge of that airport, he went there before and said, oh, you know, anybody who strikes here, you'll be dismissed. All the government has been eating the money that the airport has been generating, and they have not used the money to make the airport have 24 hours electricity to provide all of the technical equipment that the airport needs. Because of that, SM Brussels, which was the last flight going to Europe and America, today announced that it is canceling its flights to and from Liberia, and is informing its passengers. That means that Liberia now we're in worse condition. If your family is sick right now, if you're sick, my brother, and Councillor Gongloe, by chance has money, I want to fly you out of Liberia, and they say you got 10 hours to live, you will die because I have to put you in the car first, take you to Freetown to get on the flight, or take you to Conakry by road, or take you to Abidjan. Nobody can fly out of Liberia now to anywhere. Somebody say, oh, Councillor Gongloe, since you like the press, I'm a millionaire, I'm sending money for you to send that man to India. Even though the money will be here, there will be no way you will go because you will die. SM Brussels, which was the only flight now going to Europe and America, canceled its flight today because the Liberian government has not been able to maintain the RIA. They've been eating the money. So all the technical facilities that are supposed to be there, the electricity and everything not there. The thing they can use to control plane coming, plane going, all the different things are not there. Because of that, we're in trouble. I woke up the morning and say, my God, I'm supposed to be traveling to America in November. That means I have to go to Freetown. You know, it's bad for us. That's all because of corruption. It never happened before in our country.
Recently, you called on NDC to reject TD persons, you know, that recently resigned from government, talking about Honorable Natana Mange, Serena Seaforth, and Bill Tuare. What really prompted that statement, you know, to NDC?
And please don't call him honorable again. Nobody can be honorable and you steal like that. You know, engage in all of the...
Someone will say it's an allegation.
Well, I trust the United States. They have better investigative capacity than Liberia. They are the ones that come here to train our police investigation, FBI, and even to train our anti-corruption people, all of that. Once you use any electronic gadget, the United States can investigate to you. You see how they killed Bin Laden deputy recently. They didn't touch any of his family members. They stay in America and kill the man in your own house. So the people who have that level of precision in investigation, I have no moral authority to doubt them. So I say I can't call Natana Maggie honorable. I can't call Serena Seaforth honorable. I can't call Bill Travel honorable because what they did was so dishonorable. They disgraced our country. For the first time in Africa, 3 officials of government did not conduct themselves well and it was sanctioned. Anybody writing history will talk about it. So I am saying that they are not qualified to even contest. Why they feel they qualify, the election commission must not dignify their quest for power by even registering them. Let them take the election commission to the Supreme Court and let's hear what the Supreme Court will say, because there's something in law about public interest, about national interest, about the survival of our country. The Magnitsky Act says no United States money can be spent on anyone who is sanctioned. We are begging America to help us with money for our electoral process, every stage of it. And United States is our most reliable partner historically, and we rely on them. So if they allow all these people who are being sanctioned to appear on the ballot, of course United States will not give money, but the election commission members risk being sanctioned too. Because the Magnitsky, I said, when you deal with these people you can be sanctioned. And we don't want that risk to confuse our election. We want our election to be held on time. It's already beyond time. Everything that is happening should have happened a year ago. It should have started 2 years ago. No voter registration. In fact, no census yet, no voter registration. They even talking about whether biometric or not. All these things should have happened a long time ago. So we are already behind schedule. I am appealing to them in the interest of our country, in the interest of maintaining peace and strengthening our peace process and building the
Do you
culture of
chose
peace.
that system that was
Not-
introduced recently, the biometric system? Do you chose that?
It has worked in other countries.
Some are saying it's not timely for Liberia. The time also involved.
Well, I don't want them to carry out all voter registration that the Supreme Court said was fraudulent. All right, so they have to do new voter registration. At least, thank God, we advocated, we campaigned against the dismissal of the current magistrate. I was the first person, in fact, to get on the radio and say, this is wrong. You cannot make a law to dismiss people. Dismissal and employment are administrative, and it belongs to the National Elections Commission. It's an executive function. The lawmaker should not violate the Constitution by going to dismissal and appointment. And thank God the meeting, because the current magistrates, they're not all perfect per se, but they are and some of them have vast experiences in the on electoral matters, because some of them have been sent abroad for training. They have even been sent to different parts of the world to observe election. So you cannot have about a year away from election, dismiss them, and then train new people, and then bring new system. So at least with the old people, they have ability to at least learn faster of a new system. But yeah, digitization, any system is something that is
Most especially those who are in Bong County. I also follow you this morning on this show. Why you want to replace President George Weah?
because George Weah is ignorant, and I mean it. Ignorant means you don't know what you're doing. And 2, he's incompetent. And 3, he's arrogant. Even when people tell him this is wrong, he will say,
Why are you saying that though?
because it's based on facts.
Like you want to smoke those files.
All right. One, there are so many things. I'll just name some. For example, when he sent our ambassador to the United States, the ambassador didn't go through confirmation hearing. He sent the mayor. It was so embarrassing for the government. The mayor gave his letter of credence to President Trump. And then I got on the radio in my inaugural speech as president of the and said, this is a violation of our Constitution. The mayor, every appointee in government must be confirmed, must be vetted by the Senate and confirmed before the president appoints him. They had to withdraw him and to send him to the Senate for confirmation. This is just one of so many things.
But do you blame the president or the Senate?
I blame the president because he needed to send the name. He is the one that paid for the ticket, made every arrangement, because he controls disbursement of funds. He disbursed money or authorized the disbursement of money for the men to go to America, not the Senate. Okay. If they don't send anyone to the Senate does not confirm. So he was wrong, and I accuse him of violation. Again, I was based on lack of knowledge. I don't think that he was intentionally doing it. He didn't know that he had to do that. People around him did not advise him, because all they're looking for is the next money to steal. So they didn't advise him about propriety. And there are many other examples of ignorance. We can take a whole day on it. And if your callers were to call, they will tell you that they know the man is ignorant. I mean, he's a footballer, and that one we hope that he will even resign and remain our football icon. Nobody can take it from him. The laurels he won to be African Footballer of the Year, European Footballer of the Year, World Footballer of the Year, nobody can take it from George Weah, and that's his place in history. But he went into a territory that he knows nothing about. If governors challenge Doe was not that educated, but challenge President Sawyer, President Taylor, President Sirleaf, then you take someone who did not have that level of education experience, who are now working in the executive branch of government, to know, and then you put him on top of the government, a man who are not even pay his own rent before, simply because as a international footballer, he will always manage. Therefore, he got smart. Now, on the question of incompetence, there are many things that he is just unable to do as president. It shows, you know.
Maybe
So,
like,
so
like the
and
people
then,
of Bong County like
and
to
then,
know
and then,
from your end as one of you contesting as to replacing, like why you think you can do for Liberians, you know.
oh
That's
yes.
a yeah, we start talking about
Let
you
me
know the
let me let
president,
me let me say
but
this.
as one of
Yeah,
those who
what I
one
can
of
do
you
for Liberia,
contesting.
we want to ensure that the law works for everybody, that nobody is above the law. As a lawyer, I'll make sure that everything that is in the law is applied in Liberia, and governance is by rule of law. Every ministry is controlled by a legislation. We'll go by the legislation for each of the ministry. We'll make sure that anybody who violates the law is punished for violation consistent with the law. We also make sure that we grow our own food. We'll fight corruption first. We'll fight corruption because corruption has proven to be a big impediment for the development of Liberia. Our last president called corruption a vampire. I don't know what President Weah will call corruption, but it has become a monster because people in power lack the political will to fight corruption because they are corrupt themselves. I am not corrupt. And I can say, not only in Bong County, I've said it many times on the radio, that I challenge all Liberians from Cape Man to Cape Amos to show one incident of corruption in Councillor Gongloe as an official of government or as even president of the Bar Association. I lead by example. So you need me to transform this country because of my knowledge, because of my fight against corruption. And as an economist, I think we need to create jobs all over the country by giving incentives to companies to establish. In my economic policy, I say any company that establishes 50 miles away from Monrovia will get increase incentive. And the further you go, you get more incentive to the extent that if you have factory in Bong, you have factory in Uganda, you have factory in Tapeta, Zwedru, Vonjama, Harpo, all those places, we reduce taxes on them, corporate taxes and all of that. We give them additional incentive. But you know what Liberia will get if you got a company in Banga or in Harpo that is employing 500 persons, even though the company is paying lower tax or is not paying tax, will get a 5-year tax break to put your company in that employable. If you employ 500 persons, government will get payroll tax from those 500 persons, like income tax.
Okay.
And then those 500 persons will pay rent to house owners. The house owners will get income, and the income will be taxed. The house owner and OPO will buy other goods and services, and those who receive income will pay income tax to government. So people will be receiving money, and government will be receiving money too. The tax base of our revenue our revenue base will increase, and then people will have money. And so the important thing that today everybody goes to Monrovia because that was for greener pasture. But if you have 500 people employed in Harpo and there's job there, why would they leave to go to Monrovia low for greener pasture? Monrovia Harpo will function. It has happened before. There used to be a sugar company in Harpo called Lipsuko. When Lipsuko was there, very few people were leaving to go to Monrovia because they had jobs. They had jobs there in there. When we had the Vampla, we had the plywood company in Greenville, a lot of people were there. When Bongese had BCADP, Bongese was functioning. A lot of economy depended on BCADP. Kyrie has gone down because of corruption, and look at what they've been doing to Dr. Juma. Thank God we are advocates and everything. I'm a lawyer for Dr. Juma. I take multiple cases. Today, things are getting much where things were, the BCADP and LPMC, all these people were here. Bongese was functioning. Same thing in Nimba and other places. We had NCRDP, we had SCADP in Lofa. So when you have employment activities in the country, it can reduce the number of people who go to Monrovia. Today, Monrovia that will be for 300,000 people is hosting over 1 million people. So you see sewage leaking in the street because the capacity of all the facilities are challenged, So we want to my economic policy is to decentralize the economy so that we have economic activities all over the country And that will reduce crime rate. Because when everybody goes to Monrovia, it's difficult for life. Things are tough. Then some of the friends say you're suffering, but man can't take one load of marijuana to forget your problem. Gradually they get addicted to drugs, and then they start engaging in armed robbery and other things. Okay. All right. So this is what we want to do. And then when we fight corruption, we have a lot of money. We engage in transformation of the drug affected youth in the street that you call Zogos. We'll rehabilitate them and give them skills. Send them to training schools to learn carpentry, masonry, mechanic job, and different things. Then they will get a job with a company that will give incentive to be established in the country. That Liberia will start getting better. So the other thing is, when the economy is great, you know what's going to happen to the mass media?
No.
You will be advertising for all the companies.
Yeah, to get money.
And getting a lot of money. You'll be advertising the Super Bongese and all the radio stations all over Liberia. When you have local economy, local business people advertising your companies, on your radio stations, you will be getting money too. So you'll be part of it. When we improve the economy, once there's economic growth and development, the media, newspapers, we have advertisement in a paper, radio station. So all of us, my economic policy is to make Liberian people happy. So we have truly a sweet land of liberty, to the extent that people will be reluctant to leave from their countries, reluctant to leave from Liberia. And if by chance they leave Liberia, they'll be running to come back home, because when you have a sweet home, you don't want to leave from your home. Okay. You can miss home. And the example I can tell you is South Africa. When I was living in America in 1990, there were South Africans all over the United States. I went by in 1997 after Mandela became president, and they saw hope of South Africa becoming better. All the South Africans left America and went back to South Africa. Even in Boston, where I used to live, a Shabalala group that can sing were there. They all went back home. They can only go to America to visit, and they want to run back to South Africa. We can make Liberia greater than the countries that we run to.
Okay, so before we can go to last week and speak to Bongese, you spent about 3 months in the U.S. So tell us, people, Liberians who are in the U.S., what are they saying about your quest to become president?
I was invited by my supporters in the United States to say, look, you don't know Councilor Gongloe. We in America don't vote in Liberia, but we are very influential in Liberia because we send remittances to our family members in the villages. We are the ones that are sustaining them. So come and tell us why you want to be president. If we are convinced by your statement, we will call upon our people to vote for you. We will also find the money to help you run your campaign. So my trip to America was to expose myself to the Liberians there, to convince them why I'm a better candidate than anyone, any politician today in Liberia. And I was very happy. I went to Atlanta, Georgia, the first state. State is like a whole country. Some of them have their population 2 times bigger than Liberia. When I spoke to Liberians there, after that, I went to 11 other states. And still some more states were calling upon me. Okay. Texas called upon me, Colorado. I didn't.
What are they saying? They support you?
They are very, in fact, they were motivated by my statement, because my statement will always carry light. When they appeared, no, you come. And they will ask me, so now for 2 hours, they'll be asking me, they ask all the questions and say, we love your answer. Then people are leaving from opposition camp, from the ruling party camp, and coming to me. Many of the Team Gongloe members in America now were in the ruling party and opposition, other opposition political parties. So I'm convinced that my message resonated with them well, because I speak truth to power, and I live the truth that I want other people to live. So they are so impressed by me that they want me to go back to America, and I say, look, I'm here on the ground, I'm talking to Liberians. They say, yeah, come, this time you can come for only 2 or 3 weeks, but we want you to come. This time now we want to raise money for you, because your first trip was just for us to know you. Yes, so they now want to raise money for you, just as other candidates have been coming here and raising money, and you are a poor man lawyer, you don't even have money compared to any of the candidates today. All right? So come, we'll raise money because we want you to win.
Okay.
Yeah, they were convinced. And I even talked to the president of Bong. I call him a big uncle. He came to a program. I was speaking. I fell to his feet. He had to give me, I think, $50 or $100 because of the tradition. And when you fall down as a nephew, they got to lift you up, right? That's the tradition. I did that in Bletana when Councilor Richard Flumo died. I was president of the bar. So I went to a place of park. I said, I paid tribute. Then I told her, I said, boy, you tell your goats and chickens here. I'm a nephew. They come near me, they will be in my car. So it was funny. When I went and sat down, I was sitting by George Conto. When I looked, they white chickens started coming. Pia, pia, pia. I said, George Conto, that chicken can near me will be gone. Truly, it came under my seat. I just grabbed it. Quack, quack, quack. So I started going there. One lady said, but that chicken from you, so Paramount Chief Isaiah said, but your chicken can listen. Gongloe Gongloe as a lawyer gave notice that any chicken come here, you will go. So your chicken is gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I'm a nephew, and I understand the tradition.
Good. So we can take a few persons this morning.
Yeah,
on
because
this,
we are going to the convention.
for the convention. Yes, we
1 hour later already.
Yeah. So folks, we have Councillor Tiawan Gongloe. A senior member of the Liberian People Party, and of course, former president of the Liberian National Bar Association. Different reasons why he contesting for the Liberian presidency, and tell you why she's supporting. This person is good morning. Good morning, welcome. What's your name? Yeah, Wilson Cooper, go ahead.
Hold on, my uncle there.
I want to first appreciate the council for the lengthy deliberation this morning. But my concern has been joined to one major issue that has to do with the education system right here. You cannot speak about it. One measure can only put into place to have education system from going forward.
Okay. Thank you from my district. Thank you. This person, that person is here. Good morning.
Good morning. Let me say good morning to your fellow guests. The name of Chris here.
Yes, go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, I'll be very brief. Question recommendation. I listened to the council this morning when you asked me is an administration. He said no, in short, a miracle. But the council, if I mean, reflect your memory, a miracle came out and said that Afghanistan, which is around there, weapon of mass destruction, and the men were killed. Up to now, we are yet to see the weapon. Can you tell us?
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Chris. Good morning. Thank you, Father Lawrence Topa. Thank you. We can take the two persons and get back to our guest because talking about the convention will be held today in Banga. So Daniel Giddies wants to participate. Good morning, Daniel. Good morning. Daniel, good morning. No, I don't know what. Oh, sorry. I see we can talk with Daniel. Daniel wants to. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning, my friend. Excellent.
Guess you following the show.
Certainly.
Go ahead. You listen to the councilor.
I want to commend the councilor this morning. But my attention has been drawn to this president. So he came down on the top that which is the first one. Who is going to support stuff around? Because I know he could be somebody that stands for councilor. He's not a man who didn't do something for you. Just look at the country, how it's going down in the drain. And I always believe with him, I want to Russia children like we were. This is the country that somebody said that you have to pay every demonstrating and games and rifle people for full sanction on one individual. So if he goes second round, who will he get his support to? Thank you so much.
But you think the council wants to go second round? This person.
That's what I
Okay. Okay, Mr. Gideon, thank you. Good morning. Good morning, welcome, what's your name? Okay, go ahead. As we get back to it, I'll counsel listen to the callers.
Yeah, I mean, two of the callers, they expressed opinion. I don't want to deal with that. Somebody say I should run 2040 if I'm around. The same man who asked for weapons of mass destruction. I trust Americans. He doesn't trust Americans. That's an argument to have on a different day, but not on this radio. But he doesn't feel that I'm fit to run for the president. He talking about 2040. He say I'm still around. So I don't want to deal with it. And the other man who just said I should go run for a representative position, that his right to speak the way he did. It is my choice to run for the presidency, so we can't have a debate on that because he has made a choice. He said for a representative. That's not what I want to do. Okay. But I want to thank my uncle from Pai, who said I love for education, really good. But in my 10-point agenda, education is there, and I've expanded to say, look, we need to make education free for kindergarten to 12th grade, so that it can take the burden off the parents. Free, compulsory, quality education. Today, some of you are doing well on the radio, but there are some librarians who even after college can pronounce certain words simply because they went to school and didn't get textbooks. They didn't even have reader in their schools. When I went to school, there were readers, and I believe that. And one of my plans is to provide textbooks for all Liberian children, whether they're in private school or government school. It is doable. When I went to California, for example, I talked to the education commissioner there, the education department, and I said, can California provide your textbooks for us? He said it's doable. I went to North Dakota. Everywhere I went, I tried to seek Liberian interest, even though I'm not president yet. I was told by the Trade Commission in North Dakota, look, we can give scholarship to over 2,000 or 3,000 Liberians to come here and do their graduate studies and at the same time work and gain experience. So we have this program for people working abroad. That's something that we tap into. And I was even told that look, we have this smart farm program where we don't need so many people to be involved in farming, but smart farm that's mechanized farming. So I said, oh, then we'll work with you so that when I become president, we'll strengthen CDA to create farmers cooperatives all over the country, and then we'll give them farming machines. We'll enter into contract with North Dakota, bring the farming machines, we give it on loan to the farmers cooperatives through the Agricultural Cooperative Development Bank that I intend to revitalize. And then the farmers cooperatives will get machines, and it will be interest-free loan that they will be paying back to the bank in 15 years. That will increase the capacity of our farmers to produce rice. Because right now we are food insecure. Out of every 100 bags of rice that we eat in Liberia, only less than 20 bags are produced according to statistics. Over 80 bags are imported, which means a lot of our foreign exchange is spent on our staple food, rice. And we have the land to produce rice here and even export rice. If Egypt, a desert country, can export rice to the Middle East, what's about us that have fertile land, have good rainfall, we have swamps all over the country. Even swamp rice alone can feed this country. So we want to go in there and want to make education it number one priority. We want to make agriculture a number one priority. If our president today, the $3,090,000 that the lawmaker that were given by the president, the lawmaker last year to divide among themselves, they put a big vocabulary behind. They call it legislative engagement fund. I would take that $3,090,000 and put it at JFK. And I talked to all the doctors at JFK, many doctors at JFK. They told me, Tiawan Gongloe, just $3 million in JFK will make JFK a number one hospital in West Africa. That Liberians will not have to go to Ghana or to India. Okay. And then the hospital will be there for everybody.
Okay, so Councillor, another thing for another before leaving you didn't leave for your convention.
Yeah, I just want to appeal to my uncles and aunts of Bong that your own is your own. They should stand behind me in the name of Chief Gove, Chief Suakoko, my old man Chief Bauer. You know, I used to be the lawyer for the Elders Council of Bong County.
Oh, okay.
You remember when there was a confusion between Rennie Jackson and Lucia Herbert? That problem was solved right here at the Kuyan place.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was there with Omer Baro, former representative Bismarck Kuyan, Pangbai, and the rest of them. Unfortunately, none of these people are there today, but I was there and I gave the legal counsel in the resolution of the problem. Chief, the head of the Chief and Elders Council, what's his name? Liberian, for the whole of Liberia. Zanzan Kawa was there on that day too. So I've been giving that kind of service to Bong County as they have not removed me, so I can say I'm still the lawyer for the Chief and Elders Council of Bong County. Whenever they need legal advice, they talk to me.
Okay.
So as their big nephew, who grew up partially in Zowenta and Kwaipa.
From Kwaipa, okay.
Yeah, Kwaipa. I grew up in Kwaipa. When they hear me, some of them might even come here.
So really got called Winston Cooper from Kwaipa too?
Yeah. So that's why he reminded me. One of my uncles just died recently, James Mengwa, peace be to his ashes. He was the principal of the Kwaipa school. In fact, I made a superintendent of Bonga to reach Kwaipa for the first time. Superintendent Selena Mape. I got her to go to Kwaipa. She was very happy when she was receiving Kwaipa. And because of that, she built an annex to the school in Kwaipa through my contact with her. I want to, while I'm on the radio, speak to my big aunt, the superintendent of Bonga, Madam Esther Walker. She's my big aunt. I will not leave Bonkande until I go look for her. I have to do that, as I used to do with the former superintendent. And all of my uncles who are in the legislature, I'm appealing to them to put their hands behind me to push me further. The blessing of your uncles and aunts can carry you very far away. I know that Bonkande people love their sisters' children. They love their daughters' children more than their own. And I have no doubt that I'll benefit from that tradition. No matter who put billions of dollars in Bong County, they will go with their nephew.
Thank you so much.